welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well and they are staying safe and staying healthy. I hope everyone is having a nice long weekend, a nice Easter, a nice Passover, or just a nice time in general, staying home, staying safe. We are on to episode 7 in our rewatch of the show right now, so on to the episode. This episode is called Losing It, and it's kind of a bit of a filler episode. I mean, there is some stuff that happens that obviously brings us forward in our season-long arches for each character, but overall it's quite fillery and most of the characters do just have small storylines. We'll start off with Shane. She's the first one we see in the episode. Everybody is up at 3 in the morning for some reason in this episode. Shane is out with her friend who we met last episode, Clive, and these kind of Hollywood super rich guys that they're hanging about with. The friends of Clive think that Shane is a guy, and obviously Shane tells them that she's a girl, and they end up really loving her. And one of the guys, he says that he's going to send her some hairdressing clients, his business partners' wives and things, so that's a big deal for Shane. That's mostly what happens through the episode. We do see her at her salon the night after they've been out, looking a bit rough and hungover, but she does the hair of, I think the character's name is Ellie Zimmer. She's like a big Hollywood connected person and ends up really loving it. So she says she's going to send Shane a bunch of people and clients, and the owner of Shane's salon is like really over the moon about it. So that's mostly what happens with Shane throughout the episode. Not a huge storyline for this particular episode. Alice too, not too much happens with her this episode. She kind of has most of her scenes with Lisa the lesbian, and it's just moving that relationship a little bit more forward. There's a funny scene with Lisa, Alice and Tina at the planet, and Lisa's being very, speaking about Tina's body going through all these changes and how Lisa will never be able to experience that. So it's kind of funny, but Alice and Tina just give each other this look, kind of like, oh, is this for real? Dana and Laura have a very, very small part in the episode. They're mostly only in the group scene at Tina's house, which I'll talk about that in a minute. And they're in this very happiness beginning of the relationship bubble where you're walking on cloud 9. And I mean, especially this is Dana's, I think, first like serious relationship, and we all remember our first relationship, our first love, where you think nothing can ever go wrong and this is the person that you're going to be with forever, but you literally miss them when they go to get a coffee in the kitchen. So it is nice to see that, but obviously when they're at Tina's, it does go a bit far when they're staying the night in Tina's living room. But moving on. The whole Jenny, Tim, Marina love triangle mess keeps going this episode. Tim has obviously, at the end of last episode, they got married. Tim left Jenny in the hotel honeymoon suite of where they'd got married and just gone home, and he's up in the middle of the night, 3 a.m, hitting a punching bag. Bette has gone out to get Tina a slushy slurpy thing, and she obviously hears him punching a punching bag at 3 a.m, and they have like a little discussion, and Bette's kind of saying, she felt awkward about the whole thing when they had the dinner party. And especially watching the episode now, when obviously I've seen the show a million times and know what happens, you just kind of feel like shaking Bette because you know what's gonna happen, and she's basically gonna do to Tina what Jenny's done to Tim. And Bette is actually the one that accidentally lets it slip. That, well, maybe not accidentally, because Bette didn't know that Jenny and Marina had kind of said to Tim when he walked in on them that was the only time it had ever happened, and it was just like that one in the moment thing. And Bette obviously tells Tim, like, this has been going on for a while, and Tim asks her, how long and stuff, and she's like, I have no idea, like, I'm guessing a month. But Tim obviously is furious, and we keep seeing Jenny where she is, and the first scene is her sitting on the side of the road writing some insane story. Just when she came on, I literally was like rolled my eyes, because it's just such a typical Jenny move the entire episode. I mean, she hitchhikes, she takes mushrooms, and she just talks a lot of waffle through the episode. She hitchhikes with a young guy and a girl, and she tells them what's going on and everything, but not too much happens outside her majorly tripping throughout the episode. Tim obviously is getting worried. He tries to go to the police, but the police, like in every TV and movie, when someone goes missing, they're saying, we can't do anything right now. And Tim, his friend and colleague, who I think is the head coach, Randy, and his wife come over, and they're trying to help Tim, and Tim ends up calling Jenny's mom and finding out that Jenny's fine, and she just called her mom like an hour ago. So Tim's even more furious, but Jenny is obviously making her way back to the house, and that's kind of where we leave them for the episode. They're very separate. Apart from Tim's scene in the beginning with Bette, he's just separate, and with Randy and his wife throughout the episode. He does have one small scene with Marina when initially he thinks that Jenny is at Marina's, and he kind of barges into the planet looking for Jenny. But aside from that, it's just him kind of trying to find Jenny throughout the episode, and Jenny's hitchhiking with these people. As always, save Bette Tina for last, as to me they're the best part and the most interesting part, but this episode they definitely had the bulk of the storyline. So Bette is going to New York to go to opening, and Peggy Peabody's having a dinner in her honor for taking the provocations exhibit, and all these people have heard about Bette taking the exhibit away from Mocha, and everybody's kind of singing her praises. But Tina was supposed to go with her and ends up having really bad morning sickness, so she stays. And the scene where Bette is leaving and Tina staying, you can really see again the great chemistry between Jennifer Beals and Laura Holloman. They're both great in this scene, and even when Bette's leaving and she's walking out with her suitcase, she just gives Tina that classic Bette look that she is so good throughout the rest of the series. I mean, anyone who is a fan of the show and a fan of the couple knows the look I'm talking about. So Tina goes to this Chinese herbalist to try and get this cure for morning sickness, and Marcus Allenwood, who is the sperm donor, happens to be there with his current girlfriend. And the current girlfriend, I think her name is Mei Ling, she finds out that he's donated sperm to Tina and Bette, and she absolutely flips out, goes crazy, gets them thrown out of the herbalist's practice, and she berates Marcus. She keeps calling Tina. Tina obviously freaks out, and this is a really frustrating part of the episode, because Tina calls Bette and says, something's wrong, but doesn't say what it is. And then she leaves Bette all these messages, and panicked messages. And then when she gets home, she unplugs the phone. And obviously this episode came out in 2004, 2005. You can even see Alice at one stage is on her mobile or a cell phone. And it's, like the typical old chunky one that we all had in the early 2000s. But This was before people were, you know, texting and internet and social media, and it was still dial up then, so it was a lot harder to get a hold of people. Like Bette did have a cell phone, but Tina had to call the hotel at one stage to try and speak to Bette too. So it is frustrating, because if Tina had just left the message saying, by the way, I ran into Marcus and his girlfriend and she's flipping out, I'm still really worried, but at least then Bette's mind wouldn't have gone to the absolute worst, because Tina unplugs the phone. Shane, Alice, Dana, Laura, Lisa, and Kit all come over and stay the night with Tina, so she's pretty safe with everyone around her. And they play poker and, you know, just hang out. And the next morning, the phone is still unplugged, and Tina eventually is like, okay, I'm going to try Bette again, calls the hotel. Bette's checked out, and 5 seconds later, Bette walks in the door. You can obviously tell Bette's super like panicked and relieved to see everything's okay, but also beyond disappointed that she's had to leave New York early, miss out on having this dinner with Peggy Peabody and all these people that, you know, were having this dinner in her honor. And it is a very nice scene with Bette and Tina, and Bette's obviously just glad everything's okay, but again, kind of frustrating. It would be really nice to see Bette and Tina in New York, absolutely killing it, because Tina on one stage even does say this is the first time that she's ever got like an invite with her name on it, and not just Bette Porter +1. I mean, that was what we were supposed to be getting towards in season 6. They were supposed to be moving to New York and having this, you know, great life in New York, which we still have not got answers in Generation Q. Did they go to New York? Did they go there for 6 months and everything fell apart and they came back? Did they live there for 15 years and Bette's only recently come back to LA? These are the answers we need in Generation Q. Come on, writers. Overall, solid episode. As I said in the beginning, kind of fillery, but we did get some really nice Bette and Tina scenes. Some frustrating Jenny scenes, but that is the consistency throughout 6 seasons. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. What was your favourite scene in the episode? I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to agree and say it was the Bette and Tina scenes as well. Of course, I'm going to be doing episode 8 in the next couple of days. I'm off for the long weekend, so also thinking about doing another video. I have been thinking a lot about the fact that the Generation Q writers are currently writing season 2. I really hope that they have heard us loud and clear that we want a Bette and Tina reunion. I've seen them posting on Twitter doing like Zoom meetings. Hopefully they're still carrying on writing the scripts, because I know that in an interview they were saying that when they started shooting episode 1, they'd already wrote, I think, 4 episodes. Because of the state of the world right now, they're not going to be filming anytime soon, but at least they can still write and crack on with all of that and have the scripts ready to go whenever all of this craziness finally blows over and stops. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please also consider following me on social media. My Instagram and Facebook are the.ash.silver, and I also have recently made a Twitter, which is theashsilver1. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, please pop them down below or reach out to me on social media, comments or direct messages. I try and respond to all of them, especially during the current situation. Anyone's feeling lonely, isolated, please reach out to me. I'll talk about the L word, I'll talk about anything. But I hope you're all staying safe, stay healthy, stay home, so we can all just get done with this craziness as soon as possible. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. Thank you so much again, guys. Take care and have a great weekend. Bye.